Patreon member shout out. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, and I'll follow you into the dark. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashy. Hello, Dashy. Let's get a little bit of light in here. This video might take a little longer. We do have a bunch of stuff to go over, so let's get to it. I'm going to start with Earth 2 right now. They did make an announcement on March 17th saying that Mentor icon added to the following E2 1635, so portfolio page on each property, property deed page, and map property details card. They have T1 and T2 icons added on the map for property details. That's tier 1 and tier 2 class. Then how-to links added are in the tabs. They have leaderboard updates, new filter options for sort by, high-quality jewels, all that. There's a whole bunch of fixes in Earth 2 as well, from refactored code and database structural stuff, for sale buttons, standardizing the essence icon. There's a whole mess of stuff, and Shane talked about it in a recent video. Very cool, very exciting. Okay, that is Earth 2 stuff. Got that out of the way. We have a bunch of Veve stuff to go over with right now. I'm doing this thing on the Veve app where you can request what you want to see in a video. I'll make a post every day. Hey guys, what do you want to see? And from yesterday, we have, is the Marvel Mighty a sleeper because of its historical significance in the Marvel Universe? Oh, is the Thing as far as the Marvel Mighty? That one, I would say, yeah, it's a big part of the Fantastic Four. I really like them. Again, you have a whole YouTube and group called The Thing to Donnie. Pretty iconic in my opinion. Then we have other people talking about theological prices of some of the comics. Don't understand it, fam. Basically, what you have is I think what they're talking about is certain ones like Fantastic Four #1, Fantastic Four #5. I think Fantastic Four #1, like the 9.2, in real life just sold for like $2 million. Whereas the Secret Rare is going for, I think, 12,000, give or take. The big disparity, and I think that will be rectified in the future. NFT saying Toy Story, a first Pixar movie, and Pizza Planet Golden Moment. That does make sense. You know, you do have that Pizza Planet truck that is a Golden Moment, and you do have Woody, which is the first normal Pixar NFT that wasn't associated with Disney Golden Moments. I think Woody's pretty undervalued. This whole thing, we had such a giant dip from that. A lot of people are saying, why aren't these going up? I sold a couple things. I bought most. I still need Woody, and I need the Up House. I do have the rest of that set. I'll probably get that over the next couple of days. And then we have Decon mascots. Are they super undervalued and undiscovered? I think a lot of those are sleepers. Not all of them. Obviously, you have a couple ones that are a little weird. A lot of them are unknown artists or artists that are known well enough to get invited to Decon, but maybe not so well enough that they have these crazy epic fans that buy everything that they make. I'm sure they do have that, but what I do think is sleeper about them is that they will most likely be the first ones to be able to go on Immutable X or go to OpenSea or Coinbase NFT. We do have a couple of things like Matt Gondek and Art Patron, or Art Singh, as you might know him, that are partnered with both Veve and are partnered with Coinbase NFT. So it does make sense that artists would go first. Maybe you do have a company like, let's say, DC that says, hey, Marvel is making so much money on these on the secondary market. We want to make that too. Maybe they want to go. Which does bring me to HRO. I will go over that real quick. So according to Hello K, which I will have on the podcast later today, the scarcity is good as fully immutable X, interoperable from day one. Working on mobile app and web platform is pretty good as far as how it works. And the price comes out to about 70 cents per NFT, so it does seem kind of hard for them to lose value because they are so cheap. And again, he will be coming on to talk more about that. I'm very excited to learn from him, so go watch that later. The most recent interview I did was on What Are Those NFT channels, and that is pretty good. Go watch them on YouTube. I just did a 3-hour podcast with Sleeping Comics and them. Again, it was on What Are Those NFT channel. So let's move on. We had our very own KBE Collects over there offer me a Secret Rare Alligator Loki for the physical fridge. I, of course, declined them. I've had, I think, much higher offers than that, at least in private DM. KBE Collects called it out publicly, though. Shout out to him for that. Definitely go subscribe. Dan Chaubel commented saying, "What's crazy is your fridge is so iconic that it's the only fridge in history to actually increase in value over time." A lot of people like that. He's just having a little fun. So I did have on my podcast, I had Justin Pierce and Steph Celentano, both Disney experts. They work for Disney. They've spent hundreds, probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of hours on all things related on Disney and Pixar. I just had another 3-hour podcast with them talking about the golden moments. Again, I might have them on again today. I just had them on yesterday, but definitely go check that out. That was a lot of really fun things that we went over, a lot of good speculation. We have a place called Junkie App XYZ. Oh, I haven't followed them yet, but they are over on Twitter, and I did get a message from them saying that, quote, I won't say, I guess, who it's from, but it's a startup called Junkie. They're the first ever live stream auction house for brand verified NFTs. Think of it like Twitch meets OpenSea. We're first launching support for Wax, which means NFTs like Funko Pop, and then they'll be adding support for Immutable X and Flow, which means they'll be able to support all Veve NFTs and NBA Top Shot once they open up all their platforms. Again, they are a startup. They're not some that have like a huge fan. They might do a capital raise. They might not. But it's just another startup that is working to be able to get interoperability with Veve. I thought that was pretty noteworthy. Moving on after that, Steph Celentano on right before that stream, and we did talk about it a little bit. There's Epcot in Florida has the Japan Pavilion, and inside that area, there's a store that sells a butt-ton of Pokemon and Mario and all those other big things. She thinks there's already some partnership there that we don't know about, and it's all inside connections on who they want to grab to add on their team and just take over like a monopoly. So that does kind of suggest that, or confirm that, Pokemon and Nintendo and Disney do have this intercompany cooperation, and I think for Veve, that also makes sense. They might be saying, "Oh, hey, how's that Veve thing working out for you?" And Disney's like, "Oh yeah, making millions." And the Pokemon company or Nintendo might be like, "Okay, that makes sense." They might go. So be advised, I will get back to my screenshots in a second, but I do want to bring up something. The Omi token burn and the amount of people, shout out to Puddin' Cheeks for doing these setups. On the 17th of March, we had less than $400,000 go into the app, which we haven't had that since 15 September of 2021. So we haven't had that in several months. And why I think that is important is because we haven't had that, but I think that's also because they did announce Disney Golden Moments for tomorrow, or today rather. And with that, most likely a lot of people are going to try to sell what they want, sell what they can. And if they can sell, great, they don't need to put any money in. If they cannot sell for what they want, or for not a loss or whatever, people will put money in today. Like, I guarantee you, we probably have no less than $800,000 or even $1 million going into the app today. Currently, on the 13th of March, there was over 1 billion Omi burned that day. We had $2.5 million go into the app that day. I do think we're going to have something similar. Again, that was a Pixar drop. I think we'll have that tomorrow. Probably $1 million plus, because so few was in it yesterday. We'll get a lot of that today because of those Disney Golden Moments. We'll have that. But that being said, there are a lot of people, and I was witness to one of this the other day. Somebody spent like $37,000 to get a whole bunch of gems. And there are other types of people like Veve LG that are just flush with gems, that are saying, "Hey, I come gems available at 0.58 rate." So it's a lot, So again, people might not necessarily want to put in if they can always just get those gems. Now again, a way to really fix that would be to get MTL. If people like Veve LG can take that 100,000 gems that they have and just say, "Oh, I will withdraw it, only pay 10,000, 10% tax, so $10,000 on it, walk away with 90,000 gems," really saving himself an extra $32,000. So I do think at that point, when people are able to withdraw, you'll have other people that won't be able to get these discounted gems. They'll be putting a lot more money into the app on a daily basis. Again, that's just my opinion there. So Veve also said that earlier today, yesterday, they did have a market breakdown where they took the marketplace off the app for a few hours. They put it back up. I didn't see any new updates on there, so everyone comment down below if you did see one, because there was not one for at least what I have on Android and Google. Maybe there was one for Apple. Let me know. Comment down below. Brock McBlockchain says, very excited to announce the all-new Veve comic cleaning service. Remember in that movie Ginger Flat, As Told by Ginger, where they had Carl and Hoodsy's all vampire cleaning service. Similar to that, Brock McBlockchain says, all new Veve comic cleaning service. If your comics aren't as shiny as they once were, send them over. We'll get them cleaned up good as new. Your comics will at least be a 9.8 clean score, guaranteed. 13 gems per comic for the first 100. Obviously, he's not serious. He's just having a little bit of fun with that. I thought that was hysterical. Although I do think that someone could do this if they say, oh, I have a lower mint, whatever. You know, if it's a comic that's like this new Spider-Woman comic that just came out yesterday. If it's a comic that's like $6, then you might as well say, okay, yeah, give me your comic that's worth $6. Pay me another $13 to clean it, and I'll give you a lower mint one. That's probably something that some people might be able to do. How much money you're going to make with that? Probably not a lot. You would need a lot of inventory of lower mint ones for that. Again, I don't think this is anything serious. I think that's just him having a lot of fun with it. So Venkatesh, who is well connected with Epico Regal, says that yes, we will have a Comey and Epico Regal PR announcement in the second week of April, along with our marketplace, epico.market. And I do think that comes at an interesting time. We are going to get a massive update, as Alex would call meaty update, next week from David Yu and Dan Crothers. And kind of weird how they're making this announcement, you know, Venkatesh, 1 week before our big announcement next week. Most likely we will hear more about that from them next week. I will definitely cover it. People have been tagging me in that all day. I made a video now. Y'all can stop. David Gochstein tweeted out, quote, shout out to my homie at Black Excellence, who's been riding with me from day one. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Now LFH, let's freaking hodl, $Omi, end quote. David Gochstein, obviously leader of Gochstein Media, which Akil Patterson, aka Black Excellence, is CCO for, and David Gochstein himself has about a little over 600,000 people that just saw him tweet that out, 600,000 followers. So I thought, like I said, that was pretty good. In other news, other celebrities like Ode Osborne, who is pretty all in on Omi as well. I asked him to go, if he was able to go live. He's a UFC fighter. He is Jamaican born, also God's disciple. I decided to shoot him a message, following him. He's following me now. And once he gets back to Vegas next week, he will be coming on the podcast. It's just another avenue to bring this to sports guys, to bring this to people that like martial arts, fighting. I thought that was pretty cool. People on my last podcast were talking about Walt partner statues and utility that Disney might do. There was some debate about that. I'll go over that real quick. Disney, I don't know if they want to really be that nice and give things up for free. They are ending their, I think, not season passes. There's certain passes that they're ending right now because they're not making enough money with it. And I think that once that decides to, I think that kind of shows their hand. They're not just going to give things out for free. So I don't think that they would say, oh, hey, you have a Walt statue, free admission, as long as you have that, just because they would try to make money where they can. But that being said, if you give somebody free admission, most likely they're going to have to stay at a Disney hotel, or they would want to. They would go and buy concessions. They'd buy food. They'd buy other toys, collectibles, whatever you have it. They'd pay for pictures. I think that all kind of makes sense. So there's a little back and forth with that on which camp you're in. I'm not sure. Moving on. KBE Collects made the description for Timon and Pumbaa, saying, quote, there are hundreds of Pokemon cards released before Lugia, who's the second most valuable card that you can pull from a set box next to first edition Charizard. And the Lugia is around 80,000 today, which will be Veve's Lugia, end quote. Again, he was talking about Timon and Pumbaa, talking about how Walt is currently the king Disney Golden Moment. And even though there's a bunch of other Golden Moments that came before, that's coming after, he thinks that Timon and Pumbaa will be number 2. It will be Veve's Lugia. Does that make sense? Yeah, actually, a little bit. Donald and Donald's in the Fab Five. So is Mickey and Minnie. But speaking for myself, millennials around my age, late 20s, early 30s, we like Lion King. Now, I love Frozen. So like I learned Let It Go in Russian. Like I absolutely love that movie. Love Elsa. Love the character. And even when it came out and the hype was real, I wound up telling people this is probably the best Disney movie since Lion King. You just can't beat it. It holds up really well. It's so epic. And if you ask like a 20-year-old, maybe someone in college like Pova G, who I just had on the podcast, hey, what's your favorite Disney movie? Maybe they might say Frozen, anyone in that age range, because they grew up with that, and Lion King was already a little older by that point. It was already like 20 years old when Frozen came out, 19 years old, what have you. But a lot of people in the 30s that are only going to, late 20s, early 30s, that are only going to keep working, keep making more and more money over the next 15, 20 years, they're going to be the ones buying that Timon and Pumbaa. It means more to them than a lot of other stuff. Moving on, there's two other pieces of news in crypto in general that I did want to go over. One was Ukraine President Zelensky signs virtual assets bill into law, legalizing crypto. That is one of the big things because Ukraine has received 100 million in crypto donations during its war with Russia. And that's just another country that is legalizing crypto, just having more people come into the market. You do have Mark Zuckerberg confirming that NFTs are coming to Instagram. I would wager that Facebook, along with several other companies, have tried to buy Comey. Again, Twitter has, what they might have tried to buy a Comey. They have NFTs coming to their platform. You have Mark Zuckerberg converting NFTs to Instagram. You have Coinbase making a whole Coinbase NFT thing. It just seems to make some poetic sense that as NFTs take over the world, cream rises to the top. People are going to want Disney. I had Elizabeth Jensen I had talked to. Hopefully I'm going to get her on the podcast from Best Friends Animal Society. Just so, for those of you that do not know, 90% of my net worth when OMI reaches $1 will start to flow into charities, which if I have over 100 million OMI, that is a lot. And then Amazon closed a $8.5 billion deal to acquire MGM. So currently MGM, which has like Rocky, I think it has, obviously James Bond, has a bunch of different crazy things, which is partnered with Veve. That could be our next step, our next door into Amazon. Amazon has Lord of the Rings. They spent, I think, $250 million going and getting the rights from Tolkien and spent another $250 million on cat. They spent $500 million before anyone set foot on a set, before sets were built, before actors were paid and all that. It's pretty nuts. So I do think that is a step where Veve can go and say like, hey, Amazon, or let's partner up. I think that would be pretty cool, pretty legit. Anyway, guys, that seems to be it for me today. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you. And everyone, please check out at HeyVadon, at PingMouse Forever over on the Twitter. Standoff Chart and PingMouse over on the Veve app. KBE Collects and Omi Player 1 on the YouTube. Wraithax.eth domain name. Kyle Willson, Wendy Stibalis, Puddin' Cheeks, Vive Las Vegas, Taps Trades, Mars Davis, Legacy Bermuda, Sony Pop Media, The Gale, Charles Merkel, Veve Darklink, and Veve Vibes, all on the YouTube. Got at Wet Wizard Veve and Gario at 1234CA3, all on the Twitter. I love you all. Class dismissed. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.